All right. We are live. Can everybody hear me okay? Let's do a little sound check here. Chat, we doing okay? How you doing tonight? How's everybody? Everybody doing well? Everybody have a good Christmas? Santa bring you the right gifts? Everybody in
Yeah,
good
we're good.
shape?
We got good sound. I can hear
Can you
everything.
hear me and Chet?
I can hear Gator.
Yeah, can you
Yeah, I
guys
can hear
hear?
me. I can hear us. I
You
can
can hear
hear
us?
us.
All right. The volumes are good? All right.
I
Sound
think
fine to me.
Good to go. Well, how's everybody doing in chat? Before we get started here and record the podcast, I just want to talk with you guys here. Everything good? Yeah, thanks, Zombie. Good, good, good.
things are great.
All right. Well, I won't dilly dally around. We'll just get right into it here and record a podcast. Okay. Here we go. All right. What's up, Guardian? Welcome to episode 285 of Guardian Downcast. I'm your host, Todd the GATR, and I'm a day one Guardian who loves gaming and especially the Destiny franchise. We're the podcast that's all about your stories, your community, and your destiny. This week, we have a full crew here, and as is our tradition, we talk about our favorite things of the last year. But first, welcome my co-host, Mr. RNGGator. How's it going?
It's going good.
He's here, by the way. We have his avatar up because he's got a really nasty cold, and he doesn't want to scare anybody on screen. So you'll see his avatar tonight, but he's here. He's here with us. And, of course, Mr. Kingsleymac. How you doing tonight, sir?
Yeah, hello. I'm glad to be here yet once again. Thank you.
All right, good deal. Well, for those of you who may have just discovered our podcast, we're a weekly gaming show with an emphasis on the Destiny game and have been producing audio episodes for over 5 years now. Things have changed over the years as our show format has adapted with the times. We have decided to produce a live vodcast of our show on YouTube where we can interact with us in the chat on Friday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern. And I always announce, you don't think I say that? And I always announce a reminder in our Discord. And if you want an invite to that, that's discord.gg/Guardian Downcast. We also have a replay of tonight's show on my YouTube channel. Usually is up about 48 hours later. And of course, the audio version is always available for our podcast listeners. And you can also go to our website, guardiandowncast.com, and listen to any of our back episodes on demand. In this episode, we'll first catch up on our past holiday week. Next, there were a few news items that I wanted to share that appeared over the holiday week. As most of you know, I was out of town and pre-recorded last week's episode before Christmas time. Hopefully you enjoyed Jealous and Warcry on the show last week. I really enjoyed talking to those guys. It was a lot of fun. But then it's all about our top 5 things in gaming, streaming shows, movies, and music, something we've been doing every year, and this year is no different. By the way, if you have any feedback for anything we talk about today, let us hear it in our Discord, discord.gg/Guardian Downcast. If you'd like an invite to our community, that's the place to go. And you can post that feedback in our GDC show feedback channel. Maybe we got our top 5 things wrong in your opinion. Let's hear yours. If you have any questions from our community, whether it's from our Discord, email, or SpeakPipe, we'll answer any of those as well. And for those who want to post a question in the live chat, just make sure you at one of these fine gentlemen here, and so we can see them. It's our first episode of 2025, guys. So if everyone's ready, let's roll. Well, first thing I want to do is, before we get to our top 5 tonight and our news, is I want to go around the horn here and just see how everybody's holiday went. I mean, this is the first time I've been talking to these guys. We've all been busy with our holidays and doing things with our families and stuff. So Kingsley, I'll start with you, man. How did your Christmas go and your New Year's and all that good stuff?
Yeah, I feel like it's been a little bit, but it has in a way. But also, the holidays are like that. Yeah, like I've mentioned before, I'm glad Christmas is over. It was fine enough, and we kept it chill. The wife and I didn't do too much, and I'm happy it's now in the new year, 2025. The thing I've really noticed this year more than ever before, at least in my area with my friends and everything, people are having a harder time with Christmas than ever before. Not everyone, but like just the busyness of it, money wise, just obligatory gatherings, everything like that. And I'm kind of shaking my head and like, I've seen this years in the coming But I just felt bad. People felt very stressed this year for some reason. And what's more is with work too. And I know it's a little different this year because of having the holidays in the middle of the week, but and I'm very privileged, spoiled, whatever you want to say, as far as running the business that I do, doing remote computer work for the most part. I have it easier than most people, but I really feel for people like seeing my wife and other people and work, having to deal with work on the tail ends of these weeks or coming back into, if you were lucky and didn't have to do any work for some reason and coming back on Monday. It's really been rough this year for some reason for a lot of people. But that being said, I'm here if anyone needs to talk. Everyone will get through it. And I'm just excited to kind of push forward and get going. I don't really put much emphasis on year ends, beginnings, resolutions, things like that. It's just an arbitrary number. But that being said, too, I am kind of glad to be past the obligatory holiday stuff and pushing forward to the new year.
You've been telling me that for 3 weeks now. You're like, man, I'm just ready for this to be over. It is a lot of pressure, man. I left town after, actually the day after Christmas. I was on a flight at 4 a.m. and I had to make sure all my clients were taken care of. Everyone's been everyone's happy going to the holidays and stuff. So I get that, man. I get the pressure, and it's such a buildup. And then once you have Christmas, then you finally can, take a breath and, be thankful for what's around you and stuff. Good deal. Yeah. As far as New Year's Eve, we're not big on that either. In fact, I bought my wife a puzzle, a 1,000-piece puzzle. She loves puzzles. She was working on that, and I was playing Balatro on my phone, waiting for the countdown and the fireworks. Man, we had people putting fireworks off in our neighborhood that were commercial fireworks. I mean, it was crazy. And thank God one of my dogs.
It was annoying. We had more fireworks than I feel like 4th of July.
Yeah.
Come on, people.
It was much worse this year for us. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if they're getting cheaper to buy or what, but I kind of make fun of it now. I used to spend hundreds of dollars on fireworks, but now I go, there's $100 bill, $100 bill, $100 bill with these big mortars, they're shooting. But, hey, what's up, Sit Daddy? Yeah, it's such a build up, man. And I'm finally being able to just slow down and relax again. So it's really good. So cool deal. RNG, Chet, what about you, man? How did your Christmas go? How'd your New Year's go, man?
Oh, mine went great. Besides getting sick the day after Christmas and still getting over it, it went pretty well. I mean, I enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it more now that my kids are 18 and 20. It's a lot more laid back. I don't feel like there's a rush, used to. And work, being in a new job this year wasn't as bad. It was actually one time I went back to work this week, and I'm just like on Thursday, and I'm like, I'm not, that day before, crap, I got to go back to work. I was like, I got to go back to work, and I really just don't care for once, I wasn't dreading going back, but
that's good.
No, I mean, like I said, Christmas, we had Christmas Eve with my mom and dad, and Christmas Eve night with her mom and dad right after we went to our candlelight service at church, and then Christmas Day got up with the kids and didn't get up till like 8 o'clock because I don't have kids that want to wake me up at 4 or 5 in the morning anymore. So got up, sat around the house, opened presents, had breakfast. Then that afternoon, like I said, my daughter got sick, so she couldn't go. So we went to my mother-in-law and father-in-law's house like we normally do, and my wife came and got food for my daughter, and then we FaceTimed when we opened presents so everybody could see her open and all that stuff, And then New Year's Eve, we had our Bible study group over that we did our Christmas party with at our house, and a bunch of teenagers and everything. They were here till like 2 in the morning. I was still wide awake at 2 in the morning. It wasn't bothering me. So, had a good New Year's Eve, and then back to work this week, Thursday and Friday. So
good deal, man. Well, I saw I saw on Facebook. I think it was Facebook. I think I saw you put a slideshow on. Some nice pics,
TikTok.
man.
That was TikTok. TikTok.
That's what it was.
It was my 2020. I just went through my photo roll from January to the end and just selected a bunch of pictures.
I got you. Boy, I got a story for you guys. This Christmas was not one I care to remember We had a big family get together at my sister's place. I had a great dinner on Christmas Eve. We even played some You Don't Know Jack games on the TV, everybody's phones and stuff. We love doing that. It's kind of, we do it with my sister-in-law and my son and my daughter. We'll all come over and play together. It's really fun. We do that about once a month usually. And I love I Don't Know Jack. I love those games. Always have ever since they first came out, when we had these simple little PCs that we could play them on. But now you can just, pop them up on your TV and, log in with your phone. You're good to go. But had a really pleasant Christmas Eve. Everything looked good. And I woke up Christmas morning and my head was so congested that I could barely hear anything. All I heard was, sorry, but that's all I heard. I heard a buzzing in my noise. I'll be honest, it scared the crap out of me. I was so congested that the music I was listening to in the shower was out of pitch. Yeah, it was that bad. Once I got moving around, my sinuses kind of drained out a little bit. I started to feel a little bit better, or so I thought. About an hour later, my head was spinning. I had total vertigo. I couldn't even center myself. I was just miserable. And I'm not really one to get motion sickness a lot. And, I go boating or flying or diving or driving or whatever. I never get motion sick. And, I finally, at the very end of Christmas Day, I finally got nauseous enough where I had to go to the little boys' room. But, after that, it's like I just snapped out of it. It's really weird. But we opened our presents. I tried to eat breakfast. We usually cook crepes and bacon and all kinds of good Southern stuff.
Cream of wheat and bagels.
No bagels this week. No, Christmas morning, it's a tradition. My wife makes a big batch of crepes, and we make crepes on the crepe maker.
That is better than bagels.
My son has this big.
I'd rather have crepes more than I would bagels too.
We cook like 5 pounds of bacon. It's like just crazy amount of bacon.
Yeah,
but
we do breakfast casseroles is what my wife makes.
Oh yeah. I mean, we have so many leftovers from Christmas Eve. We could have eaten that as well. But I tried to have a good attitude. I tried to enjoy my Christmas, but man, it knocked me on my ass. So later that night, I had to make a decision on whether to go on our trip. We had to get on a flight at 4 a.m. the day after Christmas and start heading to the airport. I mean, I felt just better enough to say, F it, we're going. I mean, plus my wife hasn't had a vacation in nearly a year, and I wanted her to be able to get away. So, and she got such a great deal. So the plane, we got on the plane, everything went fine. I always worry, always get a little worried anytime we go to an airport these days. But I made sure I had some Dramamine just in case. Didn't want to get motion sick, on a plane. That would just not be good. I'd be on the news probably. Had to rush, to the airport. This guy's throwing up all over the plane. But so I was out of town the day after Christmas until New Year's Eve. And my wife and I flew into Washington, D.C. for the week. My wife is a teacher, and we have to take our vacations kind of when school's not in session. So I figured we'd jump into some Smithsonian museums and enjoy D.C. And, my wife got a really good deal. I mean, basically the airfare was free. We just had to pay for the hotel. And we stayed at a little boutique hotel called Hyatt Place, which is their boutique line from their ritzy 4-star Hyatt hotels that you hear about. We even got a free upgrade to a business suite, which was about twice the size of our normal room. I mean, it was really nice. Had a full desk, 2 full windows overlooking the Jefferson Memorial. I mean, it was just gorgeous. Also, like I said, it was right in the heart of the city. We were within 15 minutes of walking distance from the mall, the museums, and the other side of the 15 minutes, the other side is the wharf, which if you've never been there before, it's kind of the nightlife and restaurant area of DC. Hell's Kitchen's there. I mean, it's just crazy stuff there. But we figured since it was Christmas week, that the museums will be less crowded, as most families are probably celebrating the holiday, right?
Really?
Man, were we wrong?
Yeah, you were very wrong.
Holy crap. I've never seen so many people in these museums before. I said, I'm definitely going to get sick.
It's like they say don't go to Disney for New Year's Eve or
Disney's
Christmas.
second most crowded day is Christmas Day.
New Year's Eve was crazy.
I tell you what, there were American families there, don't get me wrong, but a large majority of the tourists, whether it was in our hotel, because we get free breakfast and they have these little eating areas that we're waiting in line to get food to eat. The free breakfast that they give you at the hotel. I think I heard 6 different languages from people passing by me. So I mean, it amazes me how curious our foreign neighbors are of our country. You know, the museums, some of the museums were closed, were closed. You had to get reservations the day before. The new African American Museum, which is where I really wanted to go, I wouldn't be able to get into that for a week. It was that backed up. And the Air and Space Museum, which is always my favorite, my wife tried 3 days in a row to get reservations in there. You had to like check in right at 9:30 sharp with their stupid government app. And you know how that stuff works. So no Air and Space Museum, but some highlights from the trip. We went to the U.S. Postal Museum, and I tell you what, that was pretty eye-opening. I learned exactly what happens when you mail a letter or a package, and it follows the trail from the sender to the final recipient. You know, I know it sounds kind of boring, but man, the video I saw on it and like a panoramic screen in the middle of the museum, it was really good. And let's just say I have a full respect for what Elmer Fudd Games does, because and some of our other letter carriers out there, because man, what the letter has to go through just to
Yeah, logistics are amazing with the Postal Service.
What systems they have in place and where everything goes, just from when, you know, you jump, you know, throw that letter in the mailbox. It's crazy.
I mean, I'd go there. I'd check it out.
It was pretty cool. Let's see what else. So we went to the American History Museum, and there were two exhibits there that I haven't seen before. The first one was it's showing the history of business, industry, and advertising, and the stories of all the self-made entrepreneurs in America. I mean, it actually made me excited as an entrepreneur myself. Second was they had a kind of a newish exhibit on the trip that talked about entertainment and social culture through the decades, and they had all these iconic like Hollywood pieces from sets and stuff that were in the glass cases. And again, it was so packed, man. It was so packed. Sorry, my voice is scratchy tonight. Probably still getting over the illness, but the last highlight of the trip, I went to the James Bond Museum, the Spy Museum. That's what this t-shirt is from right here. And we saw all the iconic, Bond cars, the submarines and boats, and all the little weird snowmobiles and stuff that were on the movie sets. And it was really nice. It was called Bond in Motion. That's the name of the exhibit. But I did not get to go into the actual Spy Museum because we thought we'd just be able to walk right in, right? Because it's a private museum. It's $44 to go walk through this place per person. I figured no one's going to pay that. Yeah, we had to go the next day. We had to go the next day. So we were on a flight the next day. We didn't have enough time. So that'll have to be on my list next time around. A couple good restaurants you might want to try if you ever go there. We went to one called Milk and Honey, Southern Inspired Kitchen. Think sweet tea and really good soul food. I had a crab cake sandwich, which was packed with tater tots. And man, it was really good. Another restaurant I thought you might want to like if you ever go there on the wharf is called Mi Vida. It's an authentic Mexican cuisine. And I had this guajiro hamburger. It's guajiro beef, which is like a red spicy beef patty, and sweet potato fries. I mean, the guacamole was so good. So anyway, I don't want to blabber on because I know I hate people who talk about their vacations, and I'm like, well, that was just great. You went on that. Good. Of course, we had to have some Shake Shack. Overall, nice day. We first got there. It was high 28, and you can imagine this Southern boy in 28-degree weather, but it warmed up nicely. It was in the low mid 60s by the end of the week. We had one soggy day. Instead of walking, we just took Ubers to go to the places. So we did take an Uber one night. We went to a nice restaurant out in Georgetown. We saw, using my AMC Stubs A-list membership, we saw A Complete Unknown, starring Timothy Chalamet as Bob Dylan and Ed Norton as Elle Fanning was in it too. It was the true story of Bob Dylan's rise to stardom, but a lot of it focused on his folk song years and his relationships with Pat Seeger and Joan Baez, as well as the early years of Johnny Cash. It was really good, really good. It was a little slow at first, but it really built up where it was really nice, where Bob Dylan was getting into his electric guitar days, and these little folk festivals did not like it. Hello, Lauren. So it was a lot of fun.
I almost saw that a couple days ago.
Yeah.
Wife and I were talking about it. We
Yep.
saw another movie I don't need to mention right now necessarily, unless you've seen it too. Yeah, that's good. I might still see that movie.
You know what? Fun fact about that movie, Kingsley, is every one of the people that acted in that movie sang and played guitar. Nothing was dubbed on the movie.
I would hope, but that is cool. Yeah.
Timothy Chalamet pulled it off. I guarantee he's going to get an Oscar nod for this one.
Yeah, we already know he can sing from other things.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it sounded really good. It sounded really close to Dylan. But last night, my wife and I went to our local AMC theater, and we saw Nosferatu. Let's see, Rotten Tomatoes gave it like an 86, 75 with the audience. It's basically about the Bram Stoker's Dracula, the 1800s Dracula, and it was very much to that time period. Lots of blood, and I thought pretty realistic version of Dracula. Like I said, Rotten Tomatoes was very kind to it. I thought Eggers' take, this is Robert Eggers. If you remember The Northman, remember that movie? The Northman is like a Viking movie that was really bloody, almost satanic. It seemed like that movie was really dark. He wrote and directed that movie. He was behind this one. And Eggers' take, I thought, was pretty good. It was pretty accurate and canon to the Dracula, the Bram Stoker novel. So, of course, Willem Dafoe's in it. It's going to be a winner. So I enjoy it. My wife enjoyed it as well. And I give that one about 3.5 stars. I give A Complete Unknown 3.5 stars as well. Both solid, good movies. I was fully entertained by both of those. So just want to mention that. Next week, we're seeing Nicole Kidman's Baby Girl.
Yeah, I saw it.
Oh, I got to hear, man.
Well, I'll just tell you real quick, and obviously this movie, it's not family friendly, so
of course,
only go into it if you know that. But most people do if they're going to see it. I didn't like it as much as I was hoping. Now, don't let me make that for you, but it wasn't as spicy as I was hoping, and I don't mean spicy like porn or anything, but I just mean like spicy just in general.
Yeah,
I would say 50 Shades of Grey was better than this movie.
Really?
But it was still good. There was a couple things that were really fun in it. I would give it maybe like a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, what's funny is the critics loved it. I think they gave it like an 86 or something, certified fresh, but the audience was like mixed. They were like right at 51%. So,
I think it's worth seeing if you like to see a movie like that and if you appreciate Nicole Kidman and stuff. But right. I just feel like they could have taken it a little further. It was like a little too safe, if that makes sense.
Oh, it's not.
I don't mean like
it's not as risque.
Yeah, it is risque. Okay, watch. Okay. Some people will watch it and they'll be like, "What are you talking about? That was crazy." But for the type of movie it was supposed to be, it was pretty safe.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah,
good to know. I'm surprised. Nicole Kidman usually goes out on some crazy movies. She's been on some weird ones.
Well, I'll love to hear your opinion on others.
Yeah.
Again,
I'll let you know
some people may think, "Oh, that was pretty risque," but again, that's just my opinion. But
well, I'll let you know next week because we're definitely going to see it this week coming up. Some movies coming up in January and very soon that I want to see. Wolfman, January 17th. That's a Blumhouse movie. Mickey 17. It's Robert Pattinson about cloning. Ballerina. It's from the world of John Wick. Think John Wick, but a female.
Oh, I want to see that. That has
coming soon.
Ana de Armas, I think.
Yes,
yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm. The Electric State is coming in March 14th. It's a movie about robots, and that's going to be on Netflix. That one is definitely on my list.
Yeah, I think I've seen a trailer for that somewhere.
The trailer's really good too. Upcoming shows I definitely want to complete here soon, and I'll talk about them once we watch it. Arcane Season 2 I haven't seen yet. Squid Game Part 2 just came out. Severance I need to start getting back into. The Boys, Slow Horses. I need to finish Silo. There's another one called Before on Apple. The Agency on Paramount Plus. All those shows are on my list to watch. So that's what I'll be working towards. So enough about me. What do you guys think? Ready to get into some top fives?
Yeah.
I've blabbered on long enough. All right, we'll do that.
Shut up.
We'll do that right after this. Jesus Christ.
Did you say no, Chet? You're like
you and your damn vacation. Just shut up, God.
I know. Hey, hold on. I got some pictures. I'll show you some pictures. Hold on. Don't you love that? Here's me. Oh, no. Here's one of my mom and me. Oh, hold on. Here's one of my daughter, my mom and me.
You're gonna be the one to pull out the old slideshow thing.
The expanding. Remember they used to have the expanding pictures. They just all fall out of your wallet.
Let me load the slides. Hold on.
Funny enough, I'd way rather hear stuff about Florida than Washington D.C. I think Florida's pretty cool, but
oh my God, yeah, it was a really good. It was a good break.
As you said Southern cooking, I'm like, dude, you're above the Mason-Dixon line. You're out of the
Yeah, I'm telling you, it was real Southern cooking, but yeah, it was really good. It was really good. I just, in case someone goes and they will go to the wharf, then I figure that's the best place to go. It's good. Definitely you want to try it. Everything there is about,
a little far away to get Southern cooking.
$50-$60 for a couple.
I live in North Carolina. I'm good. Yeah. I don't have to go that far.
Yeah. I mean, anywhere you go today, it's $50 for two people. I mean, I went to here in the Orlando area. I went to the Chinese place everyone goes to.
Panda?
No. Think higher. P.F. Chang's.
Oh, P.F. Chang's, yeah.
That place has gone downhill a lot.
It's gone down. I was just going to say that. I went there
it's not worth it what you pay either.
I went there and I had the orange chicken or sweet and sour chicken. They overcooked it. They put it in the oil too long. It felt like a freaking cheap. Burnt. It was too burnt. Yeah. The chicken wasn't tender. It was tough. And then the crab rangoons, they deep fry those too. Those wontons, those were hard and crusty. And I was like, man, that's just. I should have sent it all back, but they were slammed. This was New Year's Eve, so what are you gonna do? So I just won't go back.
The thing I'm realizing more and more is like sit down restaurants are less and less worth it.
It's so expensive to go out.
Fast food is
well, dude. I mean, just today I went. Since my wife and son are not feeling good, I was like, "What do y'all want? I'll pick it up on the way home from work." And they want my son. He's always sick. He always wants like KFC, mashed potatoes, mac and cheese. Comfort foods. I just get like a 16-piece tender meal. I think it was like $50 with like biscuits, great, and 4 sides, all that $50. I'm like, good Lord,
Well, I'm like, I was disappointed. I mean, we got Jenny's ice cream afterwards, which is right down it's in the same plaza. That turned out to be really good. So it's just so expensive to go out now, man. And where we started looking at our budget and it just gets crazy. If you eat out even 2 or 3 times a week, it is crazy what stuff costs. And if you want to Uber Eats it, you want to send it Uber Eats. I tried that one night.
DoorDash, it's ridiculous.
I do Uber Eats, but I'm an Uber One customer. And so I don't have to pay any of the delivery fees. It's still ridiculous. It's still ridiculous.
Like take a McDonald's app, order it for pickup. Look at the prices for like picking up at your local McDonald's. Change it to delivery.
They
watch the prices. Everything go up like $3.
That's what they did.
Everything. Yeah.
We had. It was rainy last night there, and when we got some Shake Shack, I said I'm gonna Uber Eats this, and a guy literally delivered it on an electric scooter in like a cooler on his floorboard of his electric scooter.
Yeah.
And it was $60 for a hamburger. My wife got a vegetarian hamburger, some fries, and a couple drinks. $60 frickin' dollars. My jaw hit the floor. I mean, I tipped the guy, Anyway, we'll move on.
Yeah, you're good.
It's expensive. Man, it's so expensive. I don't know how you youngins out there love your Uber Eats and the Ubering and everything. And man, it adds up. It's expensive. It really is. So we decided we were going to use Uber when we got there because rental car is a whole nother thing for 5 days. And then it was $55 a night to park underneath the hotel. And another thing too, our hotel had a fire station built in the bottom of it. I'm not used to seeing this stuff. I took some video of it and I'll post it in the Patreon lounge next week.
I think it's Washington D.C. They got to build stuff like that because they're tight on space.
Well, the first night I went to sleep, I heard, bam, just like a blaring whistle or something, and we're overlooking the highway too, and it snaps me out of a cold dead sleep, and I'm like, what the hell was that? Someone tried to get in a room or something? She goes, no, it was a fire truck. I'm like. So the next few nights, I'm popping the earbuds in. I'm listening to some soothing sleep music on some cyberpunk, mellow stuff. The rest of the week, I did that, and I slept like a baby. So anybody came in our room, I was never gonna know it. So anyway, it was a crazy week. I had a lot of fun though. We really had a good time. We needed to get away. We need to reset. All right, top fives. What do you guys want to start with? You guys want to do
I was
games?
getting ready to ask, what do y'all want to do?
Want to
I
do
don't
games
care.
first? Let's do games first. We'll do games, and then we'll go from there. All right, let me get a drink. Man, my throat is really sore. No, it's not sore.
Oh,
It's just dry. I
Scratchy.
like dry mouth.
Hmm.
What do you
I
guys have?
had Starbucks just added cortados to their menu, which
Mhm.
is a Latin drink, kind of like a cafe cubano. It's very,
We-
I know it's popular in
We went to a
South,
Cuban cafe
Florida.
before we left and had one of those. Very
Yeah.
strong.
Now,
Nice.
cortano's technically different than a cafe cubano, but they're very similar.
Okay.
But they are strong because it is equal parts espresso and milk.
Milk.
And usually lattes and flat whites are way less espresso to
Right.
milk.
Right.
And so Starbucks only does it in a short, like a little
Yeah.
5 ounce, 6 ounce thing,
Mhm.
but it is so good. I'm hooked on that now.
My wife says, they asked my wife, how sweet do you want it? I said, I want it sweet. Load it up. Load it up. All milk. Sweetest milk you got. And it was really good. It was really good, but damn, I was revved
strong.
up. I was revved up. I was ready to go.
I mean,
All
it's
right.
3 shots of espresso, so just think of that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right, let's get into it here. Here we go. 3, 2. Well, for those of you who've listened to this podcast for at least the last few years, I'd like to make a show about our favorite things from the previous year so that you can compare with us or even put these things on your list, or if you want to try and watch or listen to them. So what we're going to do tonight is each of us are going to go over our top 5 streaming shows, games, movies, and music of 2024, and we'll see how we compare with each other's picks. I don't even know what they're picking. So let's start with games, right? Now, since I only began playing other games this last year, my list is going to be very limited compared with you guys. But I do have my top 5 video games I actually played for 2024. And I'm going to get all fancy here. I've got a full screen where I'm going to share my, we're going to actually play trailers as we're talking about it. So we'll see how that goes.
Fancy.
My number 5 game, here we go, for 2024 is Age of Mythology Retold. I used to be infatuated with real-time strategy type games. I played Empire Earth forever. And then I played Age of Mythology, which followed it, which I've always loved these types of games. And this was something I just bought the end of this year because it went on sale, and it also was nominated in the Game Awards. So it is you basically summon mythological creatures as your beasts that fight the other forces. And of course you have heroes like Hercules and all these Greek Greek heroes and stuff. And of course you have grunts and people too, and you build cities and stuff, just like Age of Empires and all that as well. But it was a no-brainer for me. There's so many games and such little time to play in these days, but this had to be my number 5 because I've really been having fun playing this. So we will go to Kingsley. What is going to be your number 5 game that you
Funny
played
enough,
this
for
year?
a game, I don't have 5, but because of that, I'll do an honorable mention and I'll put it in 5th place just for you.
Okay.
Balatro.
Balatro. Balatro, you say? Yes.
Here's the thing. Like, I could, in theory, play this game a lot more, but the things that hold me back is I still don't like mobile games as much. And I feel like, even though for a lot of people they like the 8-bit graphics because it's like, oh, fun and retro, to me it's annoying because I grew up with this. And when you're playing on a phone screen, it's actually kind of hard to read the text when it's all pixelated, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I would rather them do more a modern look. And I'm not a big card game player. But all this being said, I gave it a fair shake a few weeks ago, ran through a couple levels, couple worlds, whatever. And it does make poker a little more tolerable for me. It does. I can see the appeal on this game, and I'm putting it as number 5 just because I don't have anything else for number 5.
Okay. Well, that maybe we'll go to you, RNG. What are you picking for your number 5 game of the year last year?
My number 5 game of 2024 would be the new Indiana Jones game. I enjoyed it. It could be moved up, but when you hear my other 4, it was kind of hard for it to break my top 4. So But yeah, I haven't beat it yet, but what I've played of it, I feel like I'm playing. I feel like I'm going through an Indiana Jones movie. They did such a damn good job with this game. It's so good.
You know, people
Like
thought that,
graphics of it, everything was great. I mean, very
yeah,
well told story, everything.
you know, people thought this was going to be a crappy game because let's face it, most movie-based video games have never really done well in the past. But I mean, I'm looking at the graphics are amazing.
Well, the thing is, this one ain't movie based. It's only movie based at the beginning. Other than that, it's its
Yeah.
own story. It's got, I mean, yeah, it's got the knots.
Right.
They did what they just. It has its own story for the game. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, Kingsley told me it was like playing in a movie. That's pretty cool.
I'll save comments. I have that game
Okay,
too, but
okay.
higher in the list.
All right. Well, I'm going to go to my number 4 video game, and I'm going to pull it up here real quick because I want to surprise everybody, right?
Ooh.
Destiny.
Because I actually did play this not a long period of time because Destiny came a calling.
10 minutes versus 5.
Black Myth Wukong. The first opening scene on this game is so, I mean, it's just as crystal clear as you see it on the screen right here. It was such a beautiful game when I played it, and it reminds me, of course, very much of Elden Ring, very much. Only thing I did not like about this game is it didn't seem like you could run as far as you could in Elden Ring. You hit invisible walls all the time, and that's the part I really didn't like about it. So, yeah, that's if there's one thing I could say, that's the one thing I did not like is the fact that they had invisible walls everywhere. And they just did a big download, by the way, for PlayStation 5. I think it was like 3 or 4 gigs. It was a big one. So I'm wondering if they fixed the performance issues that they were having on PS5. So hopefully that's the way hopefully they addressed all this stuff.
Yeah, I almost hopped into this game. It probably would appeal to me some, but then I kind of heard that it's a little bit harder than normal, and which a lot of people like. And for me, I just haven't been in the mood to play a game like that lately, so I just didn't even buy it in the first place. But I know it's a good game in theory.
It's not easy either. They don't give you, there's no gimmies in this one. I mean, Elden Ring was hard too. I mean, I would spend an hour fighting one boss, and my son would jump in and help me in co-op. We'd use the mod where you could jump in and play with me. But, you know, of course, the Elden Ring, people make Elden Ring FromSoft. They're actually coming out with a co-op game soon. So, man, these people are just on fire right now. This game studio. Reminds me of another game studio. It used to be on fire too. Imagine that.
I mean, games now you can tell have started to recover from the whole COVID. Now you can see how game, you know, there's like this last year of gaming was great.
Yeah.
Games.
Yeah. Zombies like, how about Squid Games on Call of Duty?
Yeah, they got a new mode on there. You can play Squid Games on it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Stuff like that's fun.
I want to get into Squid Game too. I haven't had a chance to sit down yet. So we'll have to see. All right. That was my number 4. What is your number 4, Kingsley?
Yeah, my number 4 is Star Wars Outlaws. This game, very sadly, got some bad reception at the beginning. Its Metacritic score got up to almost 80% at one point, which isn't bad for a game. And it's kind of settled around 75, 76. So not the best, but for what people were talking it should have had a Metacritic score of like 50 or 60s, you know? And so I feel like people should check out this game if you're a fan of Star Wars at all. They made tons of patches since it's come out. It already has its first DLC that's out, and I've played it. Think of, again, being in a movie.
Yeah.
A great exploration video game. I mean, the ending scene is just amazing. You're like flying around ships and, you know, basically taking down a super Star Destroyer. And I won't spoil everything, but it's, I think, a really fun game. And if you like exploration games at all, and you are actually willing to try a game and not just go off of people that kind of review bombed. Now, people did review bomb this game a lot. Again, they didn't like there was a female character and this and that, and then it had a few small bugs at the beginning, and they didn't like that. So the user reviews were kind of low, but I can highly recommend this game, and I think it's worth trying.
It looks really good. It looks very, very clear too. Very Looks like the graphics are real robust. I'm sorry, I look at graphics. That's one thing I definitely
Yeah,
look
it
at.
has good graphics.
Yeah, it
At
looks
least on
like it
my
does.
PC, it did,
It looks like
and
it
it
does.
performed well.
So,
Even on, at the very beginning when there was a few minor issues, I didn't
yeah.
really have any issues. I've had more issues in Destiny than this game, so I don't know what people were complaining about so much. But
Mhm.
that's my number 4 game.
All right, Gator. What's your number 4, man?
Hold on, I'm talking to Native. He's bringing up some game
He's
in chat.
still
he's gonna get banned if he
he's
keeps
still
bringing that
trying to
game up.
push
We are
Power
not.
World. He's
I
still
doubt any
trying.
of us have that game.
We don't say that word. You just get banned for it because he said it. So,
I
but
love
Because
my
you
Native.
pushed
number,
the
Native-
issue,
I
we'll all
love you,
say it's
Native.
not worth top 5.
Hey, Native
Oh,
Native did this with me last year, so
I love the man, but
oh, I love it, man.
I'm gonna be banning the whole chat here in a minute. Him and Zombie and all of them. But
Oh shit.
my number 4 is Marvel Rivals. I love this game. It puts Overwatch 2 to shame. It's just, I feel like I'm playing a comic book. It's like seeing the comic books I read as a kid come to life.
Yeah.
It's so, and yeah, it's made by the same studio that made Destiny Rising, and it is such a good game. I love, and even playing it solo is fun to me. I'd much rather play it with people, but I love the game. Marvel Rivals is so good.
And it's made by NetEase, huh? Okay.
Yeah, NetEase Games helps. I mean, it's so colorful, and dude, I mean, it's
Yeah, I'm looking at it
the
right
way
now.
the scenes move, open, everything. It's so much fun. I can't wait for the new season, which I think is coming next week, and there's gonna be some new characters. I've heard the Fantastic Four is
I heard
coming,
yeah, that's what I heard. The whole Fantastic Four, not one at a time either.
yeah, all 4 of them. Yeah,
It's pretty cool. It looks like an Overwatch type game to me.
it is Overwatch. You have your healers, you have your DPS, and you have your tanks.
I got you. All right. Cool deal. All right. Well, that leaves my number 3 game of 2024. And I've only played one part of this game because that's why I bought it. I bought it just for this, for this kind of, it's why I love this game. And it is Call of Duty 6 Zombies. I mean, the storyline, the way you can level up all your weapons, get all your skins and stuff before you even jump into multiplayer. It allows you to play a ton of zombies before you even jump into any kind of multiplayer map or anything. And I've tried the omnidirectional movement, and I did play the beta, and I really loved it because I'm used to flying around and blinking with Destiny. So this was not anything new for me. Being able to dive backwards and aim your guns, I love that. I have no problem, playing that kind of stuff. So this was my number 3 game of 2024. And keep in mind, I only play Destiny, or I used to only play Destiny. So these are games that I've tried and played, and you probably won't agree with me on some of these, but this was a lot of fun. They brought back round-based zombies, and it just brought back so many memories. And of course, it's got all the upgrades that have really made it fun too, with the gobble gum machines and the all of the soda machines, all the perks and everything, just like the classic game, with all the other cool stuff as well. So it's like the best of all worlds type of zombie game. So if you like zombies, you're gonna really love Black Ops 6 this year. It was really good. So
I've enjoyed Black Ops 6. I have not played zombies at all.
oh my gosh, it's so much fun.
I have prestiged once, beat the campaign. Campaign was great for this game. The story was really good.
It was.
I enjoyed it. And I haven't played a Call of Duty game in a while, and I've enjoyed the multiplayer. Like I said, I've prestiged once. I've good bit into the battle pass for the season, playing with friends. I've enjoyed going back into Call of Duty. So
and the creatures that put themselves together, the mega creatures, and when you hit certain rounds, are just a lot of fun too. So yeah. Anyway, that was my number 3. So we'll go to you, Kingsley. What is your number 3 game of the year?
Yeah, my number 3 game of the year actually has the highest score of all my games on Metacritic and users. 94% Metacritic, 9.2 user reviews.
Okay.
Astrobot. And I almost feel like I should have brought this up a little bit higher. Look, I was as skeptical as some other people, and it is unfortunate it's only on PlayStation. It's a Team Asobi, which is a PlayStation Studio exclusive company. And I thought when I first saw it, maybe it looks a little kiddish, but it is Sony's version that they've done just as well as any Nintendo Mario game, maybe even better. This game is freaking amazing.
It's fucking
It
awesome.
it hits all the right things with exploration of any type, like Mario game, collectibles. They have little Sony Studio things built in, like they have a God of War level. They have Jax and Dexter.
Yeah.
It's just so fun that I didn't know I'd be having this much fun. Just a great lighthearted game to just explore around, collect things, find secrets. You have like a home base you bring all your bots to, and you can build things and do things. And yeah, it's not like a crazy hardcore game or whatever, but I mean, they do have hard levels too. Don't get me wrong. Like the triangle and the circle levels, if you've played it, you know what I mean by that. But I was blown away with this game. I did not know I was going to like it that much, and I can see now why it won Game of the Year, even though I bet a lot of people were upset about that. Definitely give this game a chance if you have a PlayStation.
I think I voted for it for Game of the Year, and I hadn't played it yet. This is before I had played it. I played it on Christmas Day because we got my son a PlayStation Portal. And he put the game in his PlayStation. I played it down in the living room on his Portal, and I played that first level, and I collected everything but one bot. I could not find one bot, and I was so pissed. I was like, I want to go back and find this. And see, that's my type. This
I'm a completionist too.
Every itch for me. It's like, I've got shit to find. I'm going to go find it. If I have to come back and play it again, I'm going to go find it. It is such a fun game. You know,
I played the first 5 worlds. And
levels, not worlds. I bet
levels. You know, the planets you fly to, the little the maps. Let's just say the maps.
World. You're right.
Worlds, maps, whatever. And I thought it was a lot of fun. You know, all the controller functions that you have to do, where you have to pull on wires and stuff to pop stuff out to where you can get to it. The puzzle. I actually have seen more gameplay of this from people who have gotten into it more, and the puzzles look really, really fun. So. I can see this being a lot of fun. I think I'm going to hold off on this game until my grandson gets old enough to play, because I'd love to have him sit in my lap and just both of us just watch and play this game. I think it would be really great. It's so colorful. It's very inventive the way they put these levels together, but maybe it's just me. I'm just not into platformers like I used to be. I used to love, dude, I'm a Donkey Kong guy. I mean, come on. I played a ton of Donkey Kong and Mario. Yeah, I played all that stuff. And, you know, back when it was brand new, and maybe I'm just not in it as much as I used to be. I'm so into shooters and exploration games now. Just maybe my taste have changed.
Exploration game. I was just going to say
exploration game.
Well, yeah, I get that, but you really can't fail in this game. So I mean, it's the kind of thing where I would fall off a couple times I fell off, and it's like, no problem. There, start over. So it's a low key, fun, kind of like an unwinding type of game to play, but I've got Balatro for that. But Balatro's, well, yeah. Anyway, but so RNGGator, what is your number 3 game of 2024?
My number 3 game of 2024 would be Space Marines 2.
Really?
Yes.
I actually have that. Game. I have it downloaded, but I haven't started playing it yet.
I played it on my old PC, and then it was working great till they put an update out, and then it got to the point the audio was cutting in and out, and I knew it was an update because it was working fine before that. Now that I've gotten my new PC and I'm on it, I fired it up last night and today, and that game is so beautiful. It's like God of War. It gives me God of War feeling. That's what it gives me.
I remember the hordes look really good.
Because you could just go in with a sword and just whack away at a whole like that group in that trailer chasing you.
Yeah.
You can just go at the beginning. You have that opening mission where all of a sudden you're by yourself and you look out and you see this wave of them things just running over the hills, and you're trying to stay alive. I don't know how many times I died before I beat the opening mission, just trying to defend the area. And you got your swords and you got the counters. Like if you watch for the blue circle, you can counter. He'll grab them, cut them in half, rip their heads off. I mean, it's bloody, it's gory, it's great. I love the game.
Did you see the secret level on this game?
No, I haven't.
Oh, you got to watch it, man. There's hardly any dialogue at all in it, but you feel so badass that you want to go play this game like right away. It's the perfect trailer for this game because when you see what they do in the secret level on Prime, yeah, I'd definitely watch that, man, if you like this game. It had me wanting to play it. It was so badass. Amazing what these guys were. They're just like superior. Nothing hurts them, and they have all these weapons and tools, and nothing seems to phase them, it seems. But they hit a boss at the very end. I won't spoil it, but yeah. Because I
think I'm getting close to the end of the campaign.
Are you really?
So, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I played a good bit of it before I stopped playing it on my old PC.
Well, it's on my list, but it's going to be a while before I can even have time to get to that game. But it's on my it's been downloaded into my PS5 Pro, so I'm ready to play it. I just have too many other games in front that I want to play. So, well, that brings me to my number 2 game of the year. And can anybody? I think everybody kind of knows what it's going to be, right? I mean, it's been it's funny this game I found out about when we got hit by Milton head on and we lost power. And my son actually brought a board game over called Ascension. I don't know if anybody's ever played that. I love that card-based game. That was a lot of fun too. But before I go to bed, I saw that my Apple games, which I never use because they never have any good games on Apple games. I'm sorry, Kingsley. I'm no offense.
I don't play them either.
Okay.
My wife thinks there's a lot of good games, but I don't like them.
I cancel my subscription.
I still pay for it. I have Apple One, so I pay for it all. It's all wrapped together. But
yeah, me too.
Yeah, I had that too.
Yeah,
but I canceled it because I don't use Apple Music or
but
anything.
my God, man, it's got to be Balatro, man. Balatro has just had its hooks on me. In fact, if anybody is hanging out in the Discord late at night, you'll see me playing it because I play this game and it seems like a simple poker game, right? My son turned me onto this. I saw him playing it one day on Steam and I asked him what this was about. And he goes, "Oh yeah, it's a roguelike." I said, "A roguelike? No, that's a poker game." He goes, "No, it's a roguelike poker game." I said, "What?" And I never really gave it a second thought. And then I was playing it on my phone before everyone was in bed and I didn't have power. I had generator power, but I didn't have really any major power. I couldn't play on my computer or anything. And I was on this game until like 5 a.m. It had its hooks in me. So I played the other night. I'm trying to unlock all the decks on it. There's different kinds of decks and you have to do certain challenges to unlock it. There's decks with all kinds of different schemes the deck is put together. Like one deck doesn't have any face cards. It's all numbered cards or aces. Another deck only has spades and hearts. That's all it has. So it's a kind of thing where it just keeps my brain going. I hit one hand, Kingsley. I got 83 million chips on one hand, and that's what you look for. You look for that one big hit where all your jokers sync perfectly. And you just see the multiplication just going doom, 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 doom. And then
yeah, that's the endorphins right there. Right?
That's the dopamine, man. That's the dopamine. Yeah. So no, I'm afraid, I don't want to spoil it, but Power World will not be my number 1 this year. Sorry, Native. Sorry, man.
I thought Native that said that. Read your chat again.
You just made him cry now. How dare you?
Can we time out the host?
Balatro is amazing. Sorry, I'm looking at it as I have a chance to. Kingsley, your number 2 gaming this last year.
Yeah. My number 2 is Destiny. Now, more specifically, Final Shape and the Pantheon. And I put those two together because it's obvious. I mean, Final Shape, by the way, still at about an 89. So let's just say 90% Metacritic.
Right. Yeah.
And still at about a 7.6 user. Now, I know that's probably a little muddled because who knows if people are reviewing just that fairly or just Destiny in general. Even though I've been bored of Destiny lately, more so bored than normal, it doesn't mean I don't play it and don't like it, but Final Shape was amazing. Yeah. Pantheon was amazing too. Now, if you're not a raider, that's fine. But what they did with this is they made one of the best things ever of endgame harder core PvE stuff that scratched my itch and got a lot of us in it and a lot of frustration. But if we got Godslayer, we did the work. We had fun. Well, we had a lot of not fun nights
I
too.
heard you guys were not speaking for an hour after one of those.
Not me personally, but
you know what I mean,
this
though.
is all normal.
It was tense.
When you're doing harder stuff,
Yes.
tensions will flare. And
Sure.
honestly, it wasn't that bad,
Yeah.
but it's about what I would have expected. But
Yeah.
look, still, Pantheon was amazing. Final Shape was amazing. It really was. I don't know. I still feel like maybe because, Remember Berries or whatever, I kind of like Taking King maybe the same or slightly more than Final Shape, but that doesn't put anything away from Final Shape. It's there as a top part of my Destiny career so far. I don't know if anything's going to beat it, at least anytime soon within the next 5 or 10 years, if at all.
Yeah.
So that's my challenge to Destiny, to Bungie, make something great again like that. I don't think it's going to come. If it does, great. Pleasantly surprised. But I really think, this was well worth being in a top 5 for me. And I'm not going to just have it as number 1 just because I have so much history with Destiny. I'm thinking about everything I played this year, but it definitely is a 1.5 to 2 ranking on my list.
It's a solid choice, man. You can't go wrong with that pick. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 for you, RNGGator, and I think I know what his number 2 is going to be. I'm going to see if I'm right. In fact, what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull the trailer. I'm going to pull the trailer up for it. I want to see if it actually is the one that, all right, go ahead. What is your...
My number 2 is Helldivers 2.
Look what I got up, guys. Helldivers 2. I saw you play the heck out of this game, man.
Oh, yeah, when it first came out, I played the heck out of it. I dropped off. I haven't played it in a while. I'm going to jump back into it with all the new stuff they got going on and everything.
Yeah.
So it's a great game to play with friends and just screw around and everything. And like I said, they won awards at the Game Awards. They deserved it. So
yeah, I know PlayStation had a little crappy deal where you had to log in with a PlayStation account at one point. I guess they've rectified that since, and now
they decided not to they decided not to require it, but it also stopped countries from selling it, but they've recovered from it very well.
There's one
they actually listen to their community and make changes that work for the game.
Yeah.
Instead of hindering everybody.
There's one thing that I heard about this game which makes me want to play it, Gator. And it's something I wish Destiny and Bungie would learn is their season challenges are always up. There's no FOMO. You can come. You can
war bonds.
Yeah, you can play this game anytime, and you don't miss out on anything if you come in late. You can jump right in it. And I heard they're overwhelming. I heard there's a lot to do, but you can come in and immediately do your seasonal stuff that you might have missed earlier when Helldivers 2 was out initially. It's all there waiting for you. And if Bungie with episodes, Bungie, what they should have done is they should have, instead of resetting the season pass bar every episode, or extending, they did meet me halfway. They extended it 50 levels per act. With the 3 acts, it went to 200 total. But what they should have done after the first episode of Destiny is they should have just gone 201 to 400 for the next episode, because anyone who comes back and plays Echoes, the very first episode, can now go and get all of that gear from the episode 1 and then work into episode 2 and episode 3. Think of all the playtime people are going to have playing all those different season pass bars. And
yeah, but Destiny could you don't have to do that with Destiny. Just do like Helldivers. You have different war bonds. You pick up that season pass for and you get war bond medals, and you can go back and spend them on whatever war bond you want to. You can play in the game to earn the currency to unlock the war bonds, or you can go pay real money to go unlock it.
I've heard good things. I've heard so many good things about this game. So I've been really happy with this, the way they are doing things. So, all right, my number 1 game for 2024, and I don't think it's a big surprise.
That world, right?
It's Final Shape. It's the Final Shape expansion in Destiny 2. Even though Bungie had to delay their final expansion of the Light and Dark Saga, I mean, it was worth the wait to, waiting until June to play it. I loved how the new Pale Heart was designed around the solo player, where you were a solo instance. You could get lost and just get stuff done on your own. And it was a lot more than I expected. And there's still things I still to this day have to complete and get the rest of my artifact fragments. I still got to go back to the Pale Heart and get those completed. I know. Got to get them done. The way the campaign was laid out, it was a really big win for Bungie with the outstanding storytelling that it actually combined into the big finale that had even the most manly of us in a blubbery mess at the end of this campaign story. I don't think Bungie really could have ended this saga any other way or any better. The 12-man activity was crazy good. It showed how with 12 players combined with all the enemies on the screen, there was so much going on in the screen at one time. Always very stable all the way through the game. I never had any hiccups with any of that stuff. The 2-player dual Destiny mission was so memorable. And Kingsley, you remember, you and I played it on several of our characters. The Salvation's Edge raid, where Technical and his buds helped me out and get a completion on that. But it was the most difficult day one challenge. The streamers were hiding their screens. Remember that? Not to give away their discoveries. And like I said, once I played it with the community, I'll remember all the fantastic mechanics of that were involved in that one. You know, it's funny how we all forget so quickly what a masterpiece Bungie created this past year. And I, for one, hope they can continue the magic of this game for several more years. I mean, easily my favorite game of 2024. And I think they got shafted in the Game Awards for Best Ongoing Game. I still think this should have been right there as Best Ongoing Game. So that's just my 2 cents. But anyway, that is my one of the year. So I'll go to you, Kingsley. I'm surprised Final Shape wasn't your number one, but I guess I'm going to be surprised.
Yeah. We don't forget how good it was, but we're also fair and we think about more than just being a Destiny shill. So, and ongoing to me means the whole year has to be good, not just the expansion.
Yeah.
And the episodes have not been that great. But
yeah.
Anyways, I think it's great. You're number one, and in another year, Destiny might have been my number one also. It's a high number 2 for me, but number 1, which had way more even exploration than Destiny, a way longer campaign, and a really good campaign, was Indiana Jones.
Thought I got drawn up. I had a feeling you were going to pick it.
Yep. 86% critics reviews, 8.4 user reviews. So even higher user reviews than Destiny. Now, again, Destiny might have gotten shafted with people if they were reviewing not just Final Shape. But this game, at the very beginning, you're in a movie. It starts with actually Raiders of the Lost Ark. But then it goes on to new content. And the whole time, you continue to feel like you're in a movie.
Wow.
There's puzzles. There's exploration galore. They have these little zones that you're in that seem small at first, but they are so dense. You're like in a city like the Vatican or something, and you can go like in all the buildings, multiple levels. You can go in dungeons underneath. You can go back alleyways, areas where you didn't think it was part of the map, and it just keeps going. And the worlds that it takes you through. And the very ending, I don't want to spoil it, but one of the best endings of a video game I've ever done, where it's up there with, I'll say it's similar-ish to the ending of, again, Raiders of the Lost Ark movie, with just all that craziness with the lightning and the burning and everything like that. There is an ending very like that in this video game that you get to play out and be a hero and experience. And maybe just because I grew up with Indiana Jones also and whatever, but this gameplay was good, and this game got a lot better reception than Star Wars did. And everyone who's played it have said it's amazing. I haven't talked to anyone who hasn't. This game still hasn't gotten, I think, as many people buying it as I think it should have, but at least its reviews are really amazing. And I spent more hours in this than I have in Final Shape, so that's part of why I, well, to be fair, Pantheon, if I added that, probably spent more hours there. But I'm just talking about the actual campaign and stuff. And it's a really fun game for me. It scratched the itch for my number 1 game of 2024.
Very nice. Very nice. I can't fault you. Look at the trailer here. I mean, it's beautiful. Beautiful game. I can't fault you for that. I'm just a Destiny guy. So, I mean, I have to pick Final Shape. I mean, hands down, that's the best thing Bungie ever put out, period. So now I don't know what RNG Gator is going to say here. What is your number 1 game for 2024, Gator?
My number one game for 2024 is Dragon Age Veilguard.
Wow.
Nice.
That game, I have. It's another one I've played. I'm pretty good ways into it. I haven't beat it, but it is scratched every itch. I love the story. I love the exploration. Yes, it has its Dragon Age banter in it, that makes you go, what were they thinking here? But I love the gameplay of it. I love the fight style, like the combos. So, but
And
yeah,
didn't a lot of people not like that game also for some reasons? But
I
you're
thought it
saying
was
it's good, right?
I thought people were saying the dialogue was too.
I heard of other things, but we don't need to go into
Right.
it.
yeah,
But
Maybe
there's
the
other
writing.
things. Yeah, I won't go into that, but yeah,
Okay.
that's awesome to hear that you liked it.
I took that not into my consideration. I took it. Did I
Good.
enjoy the game? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all matters,
So,
man.
That's all that matters to me. I could care less
Exactly.
what anybody
Absolutely.
else thinks about the game.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, that Destiny did not make my top 5 this year. It might have made it if you had asked me this in July,
Yeah.
August,
Right.
When there was less games, yeah.
But after that, with the way the year ended and everything with games, Destiny was not
I
going to
know.
scratch my top 5.
Actually, all my other games came the second half of the year too. So again, if you would have asked
Yeah.
halfway through the year, it probably would have been Final Shape also. But some other good games came out, and one just barely edged out Destiny for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I do have I don't have runners up because that's about all the games I played in 2024. But I will say there as honorable mentions is these are games that I have on my list like right away. And the first one I'm going to mention here is actually was nominated at the Game Awards. And that is Metaphor ReFantazio.
Mm-hmm.
When I heard it was turn-based, that's all it took for me. I remember the really great times I played Heroes of Might and Magic on my PS2 days. So this will probably be the very first thing on my list. I downloaded the demo on my PS5 Pro, and it is an enhanced game as well. So Metaphor ReFantazio will be my next game on the list. So there's a short look at it right there. Any honorable mentions for you guys?
Gator? Not really. I mean, Metaphor ReFantazio, my son played it, and I've watched people play it. It's a game I would play because it gives me, if you ever play, I know you haven't, but Persona games, it gives me that feeling. They're turn-based anime games, just like Metaphor is. And yeah, when I saw it, when it was nominated, I voted for it where it was at and everything. So,
Yeah. Well,
I wish I had to say the one thing about me with the whole Game Awards, the fact that the Elden Ring DLC did not win anything that it got nominated for.
Yeah,
was the greatest thing for me at the Game Awards.
Yeah, people were. There was a lot of controversy over an expansion being considered Game of the Year because it's not really. You have to buy the other game to play the expansion. So, and you had to get to a certain level. You had to get to a certain level to unlock it, which was just ballsy from software to do something like that. The second game I have drawn up and ready to go, and I actually tried this game on my PS3. It was preloaded on my PS3, and that is Warframe. I did not like it. I didn't like the third-person movement. It was too disorienting for me. It was not really smooth. Actually even gave me a little motion sickness. The color palette was a little off, but after I've heard so many of you out there mention how it's been updated and improved, and I guess this is the new 1999 footage you're looking at right now.
It is, yeah.
It's free. Why not? Why not give it another try? So I'm going to give it one more try. And I heard the movement's more fluid now. And I've decided for 2025, I'm going to give it a fair shake. I'm going to try to play it. It won't be my main game. Destiny will be my main game, but it will be one of my, I'm thinking about doing this one day a week, trying each of these games and giving it a fair shake. I mean, I'm talking playing 2 or 3 hours of it. Not just, not just looking at the title screen and then moving on. So I'm going to give it a fair shake and give it a fair play and kind of see how the systems work and stuff and then go from there. So that's what I have planning. So those are the third game I have, and I'm not going to show the preview on this one, but It is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I have the download as well, downloaded on my PS5 Pro, and it is also an enhanced game, of course. I want to finish up Elden Ring so I can get to that expansion we just talked about. I want to finish Black Myth Wukong. I want to get that done. A lot of voices in my head saying it's time, you got to go back and finish that game, man. You know, the problem is there's just not enough time to play all these games. I don't know, but I have a feeling Destiny's going to be a little light over the winter and spring here. And, you know, I'm heard good things about Heresy. Don't get me wrong, but I think that's where I'm going to be heading here in the first part of 2025. So that's on my list. So we will be right back. What we're going to do is I've got a couple news articles I want to share real quick, Destiny related, some important dates and stuff I want to mention as well. And then we're going to get to our top 5 streaming and TV shows after that. So hold tight. I've got to do my mandatory bathroom break. Right back.
That's fine. I think this is going to go way over 2 hours with the rate we're going.
We'll try to move a little faster. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So Jimmy Raynor's, like, I currently play 3 live service games and love it: Warframe, Destiny, and Path of Exile 2. I just bought that actually for my son for Christmas, the early access. So I need like just 2 minutes here, guys. I'm gonna go to an intermission screen here real quick, and then we'll be right back in just 2 or 3 minutes, guys. Be right back.
Intermission.
They can't hear. I've got everything muted. Okay, we're back. Thanks, everybody. I had to, the cold weather is hitting Florida, and yeah, it definitely, between my throat sore is dry. I had to get some more tea to help lubricate. It's actually going to get pretty cold this week. It's going to dip down into high 52 on Saturday. Next week, it's going to get even colder. It's going to get high 48 and low 30s. So, hey, it's a damp cold down here. It's different. It's different cold. It's different cold. Okay. Anyway,
so there's other areas that get even colder and are still damp.
I was gonna say. I mean, we're not as cold as some of the other areas. We're gonna be in the low teens for, at nights, and maybe breaking close to 30 during the day. And
oh my God,
I mean the mountains where you want to say you want to retire to are going to be negative with the windshield.
Screw that.
If you have the humidity, your throat shouldn't be getting dry.
I have had dry mouth like all week, and no, it's not what you think. No, I've just had a real. Just
I don't know what you thought we were thinking. But okay,
maybe it's the cold. Maybe it's the cold weather. I don't know. Maybe it's the cold medicine I was on. Anyway,
the poor man can't take 50-degree weather. He has to pull out his parka.
Don't worry about my camera's off right now. I forgot to plug my phone in, and
no, you're still on.
Low on battery. I'll fix it in a second.
Your camera's still on. Yeah, you're fine. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. I had to go to the bathroom. It was getting nuts. So, yeah, I know I wouldn't last 5 seconds up there up north for any amount of time. I'd be on the 5th day. I'd be like, I've had enough. I got to go back to Florida. My blood is very thin from all this hot weather down here. I can't do it. So.
Anyone can get used to it, but it's not fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Darth Noodle was asking if you're a Blues fan.
Blues? What? I guess I'm not.
The hockey team?
That's a Utah Jazz hat he's got on, Darth.
Yeah, this is Utah Jazz, and then Utah's Utah Hockey Club, but I don't know any Blues team.
Yeah.
He's not a St. Louis Blues fan.
No. Probably. Okay. Yep.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Let me make sure I got everything drawn up the right way here. Okay. Yeah, there's a few stories I just want to go over here really quick. First was some important dates I wanted to make sure everybody knew, because the last couple shows, we've been a little ambiguous on the actual dates.
I actually did talk about the dates on one show.
Okay.
But you can go over them again, because I think they're also important.
That's all I'm gonna mention here, just the important dates. So
see, now you're even interested in the dates because they came out with an article, but I've always been interested in the dates.
I was getting confused, and I didn't want to have to go back into all the twabs and figure it out. So, all right, here we go. 3, 2. All right, the next part of business here, guys, is there were a few articles while I was out of town, and I caught these when I got back into town. And the first thing I wanted to share was there were some important dates, and this is a story. This is actually the roadmap, the 2025 roadmap by what is that? The Games? What is that? The Game Post. Sorry. And they had some important dates in here. I don't need to go over any of this stuff, because we, as listeners of Guardian Downcast, we've talked about all of the roadmap stuff that we're talking about here. But there's some important dates coming up in 2025. I want to make sure that we know about. Act 3 of Revenant starts next Tuesday reset, January 7th. The end date, like Kingsley mentioned, is only a month away. It's February 4th, that reset day. So the Kells Fall Exotic Mission will be on that very reset day, January 7th. It's called the Slayer's Fang Exotic Shotgun, and it will be released with that new mission. And here's a picture of it right here. Looks pretty medieval to me. And I'm not even a shotgun guy, but I want to make sure you guys know about that. The new balance update, I'm assuming this is for PvE and PvP, is going to be Tuesday, January 14th. So just go ahead 2 weeks from, if you're listening to this tonight, go 2 weeks, 2 resets ahead, and they're going to redo a little bit of I'm sure they're going to redo the, probably like the third act sandbox, probably tweaking a few things here and there. And then Iron Banner will be on that same week after they release those PvP tweaks and stuff. So I'm curious to see what they're going to do there. And then Trials of Osiris on the last day of January 31st, will be the Adept Prophet. The Prophet is the new heavy, it's the high impact scout rifle, and I have a few of those. And we'll see. Maybe the fact that they're making that the Adept weapon for trials, that maybe we're going to hear about some balance updates with those types of rifles. So that's the one article I wanted to mention. The other article I wanted to mention, I wanted to congratulate our buddy, Mr. Grenader Jake. Got his 5,000th flawless trial run. And Paul Tassi with Forbes here just did a little mini interview with him. And I just wanted to go over some of the highlights of this. Some questions he asked him. He says, what do you enjoy about carrying people to the lighthouse? What's the best part for you? He says, honestly, I enjoy a lot of the process of carrying people to the lighthouse. I enjoy the challenge. I enjoy the clear and obvious goal. My chat can follow me and I feel motivated by it. I enjoy the feeling that comes with the success of a flawless run, but more than anything, I enjoy the moment, getting to play with so many different people from the community, some of which saved up channel points for years to get their opportunity to win a raffle. That's what he does. And then to have that moment where we reach the lighthouse together, it's often euphoric for them. Getting to witness it and be a part of it, it is so special and has never gotten old. Anybody who's tuned into Grenader Jake streams, he never does runs for money, never has, never will. He's said this publicly in his streams. He does raffles, and the raffles you can get by basically putting up carrots that you earn by watching and spending time watching his streams. And I have quite a few carrots built up. I watch his streams. It's probably one of the only Twitch streamers I watch still, Destiny wise, because I love trials. I love playing trials. It's just sometimes can get frustrating. And like he says right here, he deals with a lot of cheaters because he plays on PC, but he plays a console. He plays on a controller, by the way, which I have even more respect for him. The fact he plays on controller. He wanted to know, Paul wanted to ask him, when was the best when was the best era for trials and when was the worst? He said the best was right after they did a huge trials revamp, August of 21. For the first times, players could queue into trials solo, which is what I do, and could get loot even without winning a game. The player base was thriving as a result, and the community seemed to rally around how fun the playlist was. Seeing practically everyone in the Destiny directory playing trials, having laughs, and not caring about the win or the loss was so fun. And this is the reason why I play trials today, because of that change. Because it's hard to find two other killer players, that want to spend a weekend trying to go flawless. So, yeah. That's one thing I really love about trials. And he said the worst was right before that, the summer of 21, where it was all about laning. And you guys remember those days where the games were so slow. It was very much who could lane and who could team shoot the quickest. And I remember those days as well. He says, do you think PvP can stay healthy from here and survive the recent record low player counts? He says somehow, some way, even with the player count being as low as it is, Trials seems to be doing okay. The narrative is that Trials is awful, unplayable, etc. As someone who has played through every meta and every content drought, I can tell you that this is far from the worst it has felt. So to answer your question, yes, PvP can survive these low player counts. I believe Trials revamp in episode 3 and DLCs twice a year can keep it alive. Will it ever be as popular as it once was? No, but it can still survive and be enjoyable for all players.
One thing about this that's a little unfair is they were asking about PvP in general, I thought, but he really just says it in the aspect of trials.
Yeah.
Which is a little unfair because
Sure.
Yeah, trials can still do good when player populations are low, but I wonder if PvP in general, people still have that general consensus that it's a bad state right now.
Through the week, he still does play regular control and stuff, but I don't know if he streams that, but I think he does. I think I've watched him play Iron Banner weeks and stuff.
There's plenty of people that don't like trials that even are big PvP players. So I would hope PvP altogether can be better, not just trials is doing good,
Yeah. I remember him when he carried someone who had some handicaps, for lack of a better word, and they had another time when they did a GoFundMe because one of the players did not have a the equipment to play and stuff. And his community really rallied around this and raised like $1,500 for him to buy all kinds of cool stuff. I just want to mention that and congratulate Mr. Grenader Jake. I really respect this guy. When a lot of streamers bailed from Destiny 2, this guy stuck around. And he's taken a break in the first couple months of the spring, and I think he's earned it. So yeah, just want to mention that.
I have to add one thing then too. He
Please.
does mention that there should be a Destiny 3, and I agree with him on that.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does say that. He says, dude, one day I want to see a Destiny 3 so badly. The Destiny community is special. We are a dedicated group of freaking awesome people. A Destiny 3 done well would bring so many of us back to where we once were. While it may be many years away, I remain hopeful that it will eventually happen. Me too, man. I'm with you there as well. So, anything else we want to mention? Am I missing anything here, Kingsley? Is there anything else we want to talk about?
I just found it interesting, the Destiny 3 thing, because I feel like more and more people are getting on that bandwagon now, even though a lot of people were against it in the past.
Yeah.
And I'm just shaking my head saying, well, Bungie should have been working on it yesterday, and they still aren't working on it. So it's going to be 5 to 10 years, if at all. But I'd be fine. I would have been fine if they didn't even make Frontiers and just kind of took a break for a few years and then made a Destiny 3 because Final Shape was so good.
Yeah.
Why draw out something that's just like limping along versus, put all hands on deck on a Destiny 3? But that's just my opinion.
This podcast has been through all the ups and downs of Destiny. And I remember Hazel and I thought, this is it. It's over. It's not coming back. And every time it's come back. This feels a little different though.
It is different. It's the lowest it's ever been.
Yeah.
And there's no way Frontiers will get even half as much as Final Shape got people coming back. I can pretty much guarantee that. And
remember Hazel and I talked about this. Actually, I did too on my solo year. Is it's going to be a challenge for Destiny after the Final Shape because it kind of does put a nice, beautiful bow on the whole game. And maybe they should have just ended it right then and there, but they continued with the episodes probably to make sure they could sell a season pass. Yeah. And I'll be honest, I talked with Jealous and Warcry last week. It's one of my negatives is the episodes were nothing like I thought they were going to do. And my hope, like I said, is that Bungie is working on something that they can't talk about right now, and they're going to blow us away with something all new. I mean, think about it. It can't refer back to the Light and Dark saga. It's got to be something fresh and new, which is going to be almost like a Destiny 3. And the last episode, we're going back to the Dreadnought, right? I'm really curious what they're going to do there. So I'm excited to see what they're going to do. And from what I heard, it's going to be like Hive and stasis based armor and weapons. So
we do know Frontiers is going to be a smaller expansion than Final Shape. We do know they have less staff these days. So I really doubt it's going to be anything even remotely like Final Shape, but I'm hopeful still a little bit, but I'm also realistic.
See, how did they term it? They termed it
Rise of Iron Shape.
Yeah, but what did they say the game type was? It was they used a term that relates to a game type out there.
Well, they have elements like roguelike in it and other things. Yeah. Yeah,
it's going to be more of a free roam, more of a I can't think of the name right now, and I even talked about that in earlier episodes, how it would be nice to be like Elden Ring, where you can just roam around and just hit a node or an adventure or something and then set off on a whole new path. I love that with Elden Ring. The fact that it was wide open.
Elden Ring is probably going to be 10 times as big as Frontiers is going to be.
You're probably right. You're probably right. Yeah. So we'll have to see. And they got the new portal system. I'm really curious because I'm the type that likes to jump in a lost sector, get my rewards, and jump out and go to work. I don't have time to invest 2 hours in a major activity without it being like nighttime and have to plan it in advance because but the solo ops, I'm really excited about the solo ops. So we'll just have to see.
I'm intrigued for those for sure.
I'm really looking forward to that. So Native Raiders make Titans great again. I don't know. I think I don't know about you, but the Void Titan is pretty dang strong this episode there, Native. I don't know what to tell you there. So, okay. Well, I just want to make sure I got that news out. A little bit of Destiny news here before we move on to our next top 5 thing. And I know I'm looking at the clock. We're behind. So we'll pick up the pace a little bit here, but we'll be right back with our top 5 streaming and TV shows. All right, so we're going to get into our streaming and TV shows, our top 5 of the year. And man, I've got a lot to say here because I love watching TV shows, and they've gotten so good these days that if they keep it up, they're going to take over the movie industry. I mean, I've noticed that a lot of famous actors from Hollywood, they've realized how popular these shows are and that they're getting more viewership than the basic movies that go to theaters do. And I think most of them are splitting their time between making movies and recording TV shows and seasons and stuff. And not to mention the longevity of a TV series versus a one-shot, 2-hour hit of a movie. In the past, the TV actors and the movie actors kind of lived 2 separate worlds, but it seems like now a lot of that has been bridged together, and the Golden Globes are coming up soon. And I've never seen so many movie stars at a Golden Globes. I always thought it was the soap opera stars. And, I saw the TV people were there, but now it's like everybody's there. It's just as big as the Oscars now. If you haven't figured out yet, I love the award shows. I've always loved them ever since I was a kid, but, they've adapted and changed how we get our entertainment. And, so this is I think this is a big, important area, of entertainment, and why I wanted to make sure we talked about our top 5. My top 5 for 2024, and I'm actually still watching it. It went into 2025. It is on the Paramount Plus network, and that is Landman. This is Taylor Sheridan's latest endeavor, and it talks about the life of an oil man, more specifically a regional manager of a billion-dollar oil company, all the bull crap he has to deal with drug dealers in the desert, to cleaning up liability messes and managing the working crews on these big oil drilling rigs. It's just as good as Yellowstone, and that series just wrapped up the end of last year. So this is my number 5, and it's still going. There's still weekly episodes coming out on this, and Billy Bob Thornton's just fantastic in this. And you got John Hamm playing the executive who owns the oil business, and Demi Moore is his wife. She plays a part in this as well. It's just I really love what I'm seeing here, and Taylor Sheridan really just knows how to write. He just does really good writing when it comes to TV shows. He's hit home runs so far. So like I said, my number 5 is Landman. I don't know why I put a D at the end. Anyway, I will go to you, number 5 TV streaming show for 2024.
TV shows more worth a grain of salt as far as my rankings.
Okay.
These could be variable a lot. I don't have strong opinions on the rankings, except for maybe number 1. And mostly, I know it's a good show, but mostly because I haven't watched tons of it yet.
Okay.
And I just had to put it somewhere. Number 5 is Dune Prophecy.
Yes.
It only has a 70% Metacritic and a 66 user. I'm kind of surprised. But, sorry, not Metacritic, 70% Rotten Tomato or whatever, and then 66 user. But from the first couple episodes I've seen so far, I like it a lot.
Yeah, this is
and I'll have more to say.
This
later,
is
I'm
further
sure.
down on my list, but I won't comment until I get to my ranking on this for the year. I will go to you, RNG. What is your number 5 show of 2024?
My number 5 show was kind of a tie. It was a show called Teacup, and Arcane Season 2 was my number 5.
Yeah.
They were my 2. Teacup was really good. It came out around October, Halloween. It's that type of, takes place in Georgia. You've got these people on a farm that something attacks, or not attacks, but there's this thing like, don't cross this line. This guy paints a line. He's like, do not leave this area. If you leave it, something happens, and you see what happens when a dog runs across it. Leave the line and everything. It's got to do with aliens type deal, but it's a pretty cool story to it, and it ends with the chance of them making another season. And Arcane Season 2, I watched the week of Christmas while I was at work because there wasn't shit to do, so I watched all 9 episodes while I sitting at my desk at work, and I really did like where the season 2 went. I'm looking forward to the next season where they go from there with it. So
Yeah, this is on my list to watch coming up very soon because I watched season 1 and I was blown away. And I'm not an anime fan. I don't watch a lot of anime stuff, but this was made me actually want to play the game, team-based tactics anyway. But yeah, I was impressed. It was a very good, very well animated show. And I love about Netflix is they just give you the episodes and say watch them at your leisure, whenever, however way you want to watch them. So all right. I will go to you. Well, no, we'll go to me. Sorry. Thinking about 5 million things at once right now. Thank God my ADHD medicine's still kicking in. I tell you, this is a surprise for most of you guys because I've never mentioned this. I really haven't mentioned this show very often in the past shows as far as stuff I've been watching. But I have to say it is it's a little old manny and hammy, yes, but the casting, everything in this show is fantastic, and it's called Shrinking. It's on Apple Plus. It's from the creators of Ted Lasso. So think of the writers of Ted Lasso. This is their next movie, but it's an anti-Ted Lasso. It's a story of 3 separate therapists and their relationships with their friends, their families, and each of their own shortcomings, whether it's a death of a spouse, death of, having Parkinson's, dealing with Parkinson's disease, which that's Harrison Ford. And the third therapist kind of puts up walls and doesn't allow anybody close to her when she tries to start a close relationship. So they each have their own issues that seem monumental compared to their petty issues that their patients have. It's super funny. It's very emotional as well. So it's kind of a roller coaster. It's so well written. The actors, Jason Segel and Harrison Ford, just carry the show. And when interviewed, Harrison Ford took on why he took on the role. He said it was one of the best scripts he's ever read. So he had to do it. It, like I said, another hit from the Ted Lasso writers. And I'm just finished up season 2. And this is really, really good. Really good. So, Kingsleymac.
Yeah.
Your number
Honestly,
4.
most of the shows on Apple TV Plus have been great. This is on my list somewhere way down lower, but I haven't started it yet.
Yeah, Apple TV's just got some killer shows out right now.
Yeah.
It's really good stuff.
All right. My number 4, and I'm going with every category, not just serious shows, but my number 4 is actually Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
I know
everyone's laughing.
I don't have
right
a trailer for this one. Sorry. So
it's okay. But especially my background used to be in the religion and stuff. Yes, it's a reality show and it's somewhat scripted, but the things they talk about are actually legit. They're not faking the ideas behind what they're talking about, because I know from experience, and I know people even partially related to the people on the show and experiences that people have gone through. So it's not just BS on the show, even though it's a scripted, reality show. It was actually one of Hulu's most watched non-drama shows of the year. It did surprisingly well for being a reality show. So it's funny, it has its drama and stuff, but if you kind of ever want to know some of the things in a high demand religion, you can watch that show.
Okay. Interesting. I didn't know anything about that show. It's a good deal. Gator, what do you got, man? For number 4? Number 4.
Yeah, my number 4 TV show would be Kaiju number 8. It's an anime. Came out this year.
You know how to spell it.
It's about a so you got this world. Kaijus, think of big monsters like Godzilla stuff attacking
a
country. And this guy that works for a group that goes in and cleans up afterwards gets like possessed by one of them, and he has the ability to change into one that they end up calling Kaiju number 8. But most Kaijus are bad, and he has to hide this because now he's trying to join like the force that attacks Kaiju and takes them down. But he has no, like, the way they rate him, he rates like a 0. And but he makes it in there on a hard alone because he doesn't give up no matter what, but he has that power to change into a Kaiju, which gives him, superhuman powers and is able to save people, everything. And that builds out through the whole first season. of people finding out he is one. His friend knows he's one, but he's having to hide it. And then as his teammates, some teammates find out, and he's got a girl that he grew up with that he likes. That's a major general type in the force that he's in, and he wants to prove to her and everything. So it's very good. I love it. I love the animation style. It's just it was a very good show.
I know you mentioned you watch a lot of anime, so yeah, I other than Arcane, I just really have not been able to get into a lot. I mean, dude, there's just so much to watch. There's so much to watch.
Mm-hmm.
There's shows on here that I wanted to put on here, but I just not enough room. All right, so we'll keep it rolling here. My number 3 is got best game adaptation movie show this week at the Game Awards, and that is Fallout on Prime. Man, I really love this show. This show was so good. I saw it twice. My wife saw me watching it and said, "What is this?" I said, "Oh, this is Fallout. It's based on a video game." And she said, "Well, I want to watch this too." So I went and watched it all over again a second time. It was that good. There were a lot of Easter egg stuff that I probably didn't see the first time through, that I caught little extra things in the movie and stuff. And yeah, I gotta admit, this was a high budget show. It was just a fantastic show for Prime. I mean, this was really good timing for them because it really probably shot their subscriptions up. But Ella Purnell, who you see on screen right now, plays one of the vault people from the vault. But Walter Goggins, man, Walter Goggins really carried this, and I think he got best actor last year in the on the award shows, the Golden Globes. He did a really good job. He got his due, and my gosh, this is a guy that's been in acting for a long time who never gotten his due. He's really never been in anything big, and he did such a good job on this. So that's my number 3. Kingsleymac, your number 3 show.
Yeah, number 3 show is a reality competition show called The Mole. The Mole is a show that's been around for a while. The original Moles were one of the original reality TV shows in the early 2000s. It used to be hosted by Anderson Cooper.
Really?
Now it's hosted by Ari Shapiro. But anyways, the premise is people are all playing competitions, but there's one fake player that the producers pick ahead of time to be the mole and to try to mess up the competitions. And as teams win competitions, they add money to the pot, but the mole is to try to like take money away, like do little mess ups so the teams don't win, but not be too obvious right away. And then each week people vote on who they think is the mole, and there's a huge quiz, and they can put multiple votes, and it's usually smart to spread your votes against people because no one knows who the mole is right away, right? And whoever has the least correct answers of who the mole is each week is the person that gets kicked off the show for the week. The mole will never get kicked off because they make it to the end, and then whoever the top 3 are, there's the mole and then the 2 other people, and then whoever guesses it correctly or the most again is the winner. Anyways, it's silly, but it's fun, and the latest mole season's actually really good. Supposedly it has perfect 100% critic reviews, but I don't know how many critics actually reviewed it, but I liked it a lot.
Okay. Thank
Deadpool
you, sir.
says he likes the mole also, so
Yeah,
there we go.
that's what I just
Also,
saw.
Native Raider. Boy, I didn't know that many people watched the mole. So,
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, Gator, you're up, man. What's your number 3?
My number 3 show would be Solo Leveling, another anime. It's kind of like a dungeons, like a dungeon thing. Like you go into this kid who, again, some of the same basis he rates low as like a guy that you wouldn't want to take into a raid. He's going to have to be carried into a dungeon or whatever, but he goes into a dungeon in the first episode with a bunch of guys who are like, "Oh, we got this," and they're big guys like, "Oh, you just stay back, do your job, don't screw up," and they find a room inside the dungeon. They're like, "Let's go into it." When they get into it, they realize there's a lot of crap going on. They shouldn't have went that deep into the dungeon. It's more than they can handle. And everybody starts to get killed, but he gets some sort of power and is able to get out of it, and he can't explain how he got out of it. But he all of a sudden has these powers now. He can go in and he has the ability to level himself up like by himself. He can go into dungeons you should be taking 5 or 6 people in and go do them by himself and get stronger and stronger. So, and it's very good. I've got the manga from Edifier. Ed gave it to me to read in PDF format. I haven't had a chance to sit down and read it, but it's a very good show.
Very good. All right. I'm going to keep it moving because I'm looking at the clock here. My number 2 best TV show of 2024. I like very smart series. I like series that maybe are dramas, but are very smart, have a lot of good relationships. The characters are built very well. So my number 2 show is on Netflix. It is. This is a very complex show, something you can't see while watch what you're, when you're playing a game or something. It's something you have to pay attention to because it's very involved. Last year I chose The Crown as my number 1 show for 2023, and it completed the series with the Princess Diana story, and it did it very well. This is a show that holds up to that pick, and Diplomat is just really good. It's my wife and I's number 1 show this last year. We both watched both seasons. We actually, this is one of the very few shows that we actually just sat there and got caught up on. And the politics of the first female diplomat in the UK, and you see all the plots and the political maneuvering of both the US and the UK politicians and leaders. It's like I said, it's a very intelligent series, and the 2nd season ends in a bang. Cannot wait for the 3rd season. It has been greenlit for a 3rd season. So that is my number 2 series for TV shows for 2024.
Yeah, and Diplomat, I've moved up my list very much. It probably would be the next show or 2 that I start. I know it's going to be good. I just haven't watched it yet.
It's very involved, and you definitely have to spend time watching it. It's but man, it's some really good. It's a really great show. So.
All right. My number 2 is kind of a feel-good show, and there's drama at times, but it's mostly lighthearted. It's called Dr. Odyssey. It's on Hulu, and it stars Joshua Jackson.
This is on my list. It looks good.
Think of like Grey's Anatomy on a cruise ship, but not as crazy as Grey's Anatomy. Lots of humor also. Basically, it's about Max is the name of the doctor, who's new onboard doctor for a luxury cruise ship where the small but mighty medical team navigate unique medical crises in each other miles from shore. So I don't know. It's on a hiatus right now. They're actually doing a traditional, I haven't seen this for a while, but on Hulu where they come out with an episode. They've had like 6 episodes, and then they're taking a winter break, and then it's not coming back until March. Like, wow, this is like old school television. But
no, the one with Jason Bateman, the drug one.
That's doing that too.
They did the same thing. They split and came back later in the year. Yeah.
But Dr. Odyssey is a lot of fun. Everyone who acts in it's great. A lot of humor, but a lot of drama also. And if you like, it's like medical light-ish, so not like ER or Grey's Anatomy level, but there's still a lot of medical things that happen. So
it is
a lot of fun.
Definitely on my list. I've heard a lot of good things about this show. So yeah, absolutely.
The tagline, did I say big deck energy?
Big deck energy. I like that. It's a good saying. It's a good saying. What about you, Gator? Chet, what are you going with? Number 2.
My number 2 show is actually a tie between Demon Slayer Hashira Training Arc, and Black Clover. Black Clover I know is an old anime. Both of these are anime. The Demon Slayer Hashira Training Arc came out with a movie the first part of the year, and then which led into the series. And I've read the entire Demon Slayer manga. I love it. I can't wait to catch the ending, because this training arc leads into the final part of the manga, which is the Infinity Castle, which they are going to do in 3 movies. They're ending it. It's not going to be TV shows. It's going to be 3 straight movies in the theaters, which I cannot wait.
The theaters?
The first one should be coming out early this year, probably May or March is what I've been hearing. So I can't wait to go see that with my son. And then Black Clover, like I said, is an older anime that I got into off of like Belle's Told the Bells. He told me about it, so I started, and it's tons of episodes, and that me, Rodimus, we all got through it, and it's not done with yet. It should be coming out here sometime soon, or sometime this year, the final part of it. So,
Right.
looking forward to all that.
Excellent. Well, I'll keep moving. My number one show of the year, and Kingsley already mentioned it, actually. Yeah, you know where I'm going. It's Dune Prophecy. When I heard this was coming out, I said, Benny Gesserit witches? No, I mean, they were very mysterious, right, in the Dune movies, and I was interested in knowing about it. But I'm like, I want to know more about the Atreides families and the other families, involved in the Dune series. Well, this show was done so well. It actually kept, like I said, it kept Diplomat out of my number one spot. After watching part 2 of Dune this year, I was hungry for more Dune. And like I said, this show delivered it. It focuses on the past history of Dune, which is I didn't expect. It's about 10,000 years before the movies were come into focus. And they not only focus on the mysterious witches of the Bene Gesserit, but it also shows all the histories of how these families evolved into the Dune movies that we've seen now. Travis Fimmel, Emily Watson, Olivia Williams do a fantastic job portraying the complex relationships between the Bene Gesserit and the Atreides family, which are the leaders of the universe at this point in time. But yeah, I love this series, and I love sci-fi. That's why I love Destiny so much. I love sci-fi, so this was a no-brainer for me. So no surprise, I'm sure, to a lot of you out there, but yeah. All right, Kingsley, since this was not your number one, I'm curious to see what your number one was.
I have mentioned the show before, but I'll mention it again now. You'll probably recognize this when I say it. Man on the Inside.
Yes.
Remember that with Ted Danson?
I thought I had a trailer of this.
Yep. So this show is about a retired professor who gets a new lease on life when a private investigator hires him to go undercover inside his San Francisco retirement home.
It's done very well.
This show is some of the best feel-goods I've seen in a long time. It has comedy, it has drama, it has a lot of elements of people that deal with loneliness. Everyone can relate. I mean, it mostly talks about people that are older and loneliness they have to deal with, whether you're inside the retirement home or him who is going undercover in there, but he's just a little bit younger than what an age would be to go in a retirement home anyways.
Yeah. And
this show is just amazing. Like when it ended, I'm like, they need to make a season 2. It was just so good. And they might. I heard they might. It has 96% critic Rotten Tomatoes and 92% user reviews. That's insane. That's insane. So people, check this show out. Even just watch an episode or two. I think you'll know within an episode or two if you're going to like it. It's not one of these things where people are like, well, you got to watch half the season before you know if you like it or not. But just check it out. It's a really feel-good show. And I had a lot of fun watching this.
I did watch this one as well. I watched the full season, and on your recommendation, I think, in fact.
Yeah.
And I quite enjoyed it. Ted Danson is just so charming. I mean, I've watched him ever since the Cheers days. And for those of you Gen Zers out there, you'll have to just Google it. Google Cheers. That's where he started as a nobody. And a lot of stars came from that TV series from long, long ago. And he just does such a great job. What was the show he did before this?
A Good Place?
Yeah, I love that show too. Yeah. And I was pissed when it ended. I was like, no, I don't want it to end. Let's go to another season. I want to do another season. So I guess I know why it ended, because he already had this series lined up. But I agree, man. Very funny show. Great casting as usual. And yeah, Netflix is doing some good stuff this year. Really good stuff. So I've been real impressed with what they're doing. So good pick. Good pick. Now let's see what anime Gator chose as his number one for the year.
My number one show was The Penguin.
Damn it. Okay.
Ooh.
Good. That's a good choice. That's a solid choice.
Yours. And I just like the whole playing off the Batman, the Robert Pattinson Batman universe. It was so good, so very gritty, so very. I mean, and the way it got to the end, I'm sitting there watching it one episode each week. I was like, I was like, oh, I remember talking to you, Todd. I was like, you need to watch this. You need to get caught up.
Yeah.
The way they ended that series, the way they ended that season was just phenomenal. It was so well done. He did it. I can't remember who it is. Colin Farrell?
Colin
Is the
Farrell.
guy that plays the Penguin. And he looks nothing like
know.
him. You cannot see that's Colin
Only in
Farrell.
the eyes. That's all you
Yeah,
can see.
that's it. I mean, that suit on him and everything is just the acting in it. The characters that played the different people was just great. You know, so
We're on episode 4, I believe. And how many there are? 8, you said?
I want to say something like that.
8 or 9. Yeah.
You
We're
need to finish it. You really do.
It's, believe me, it's been bugging me. My wife my wife is making me wait until she can see it with me the rest of the season. So it's frustrating because I just want to watch it, but I have to wait. The last part I saw is where he actually ran and saved the female gangster. She was about to get killed. And that's the last part I saw, is where he actually goes in there and charges and runs over some of the other mafia members, some of the higher up mafia members.
That's why I'm saying, after where you're at now, the last couple episodes, there's so many twists and turns and backstabs and everything. It's just crazy.
I'm just going to quickly go through some honorable mentions. And by the way, Penguin was one of my honorable mentions that you need to see going into this next year if you haven't already. Some honorable mentions just quickly. The Franchise on HBO Max, very quirky. It talks about the recording of sci-fi. It's all behind the scenes of they're taping at a sound studio in Hollywood, a sci-fi show, which is real dumb and kind of a B rating, B type sci-fi movie. And it's just hilarious because stuff never works out. And Apple is killing it this year. Dark Matter, Constellation is on Apple. Let's see, Masters of the Air talks about the bombers of World War II. That was really good, but Netflix is killing it too. If you have not seen these shows yet on Netflix, Three Body Problem, fantastic show this last year. Chaos was a surprise to me. It's a parody about the gods, the Greek gods, and like Zeus and all those guys. Yeah, it's really good. The Perfect Couple on Netflix, that was done very well. You definitely need to see that one if you haven't. Actually, The Perfect Couple, I think maybe it is Netflix. It might have been HBO. Secret Level, like I just mentioned, on Prime. That's a very good show. And it's based on game genres and actual games. So definitely want to see that. And then finally, if you haven't seen it yet, and I think you guys recommended this to me, Baby Reindeer on Netflix. If you haven't seen that yet, it's a stalking movie, and it's just a crazy ass series. You definitely need to see that if you haven't yet. It's on Netflix. Netflix is killing it this year. Netflix and Apple, to me, are the true winners this year when it came to shows. I mean, the other streaming platforms had some good stuff too, but nothing compared to these two big guys. All right. Any honorable mentions, Kingsley? Do you have anything you want to mention?
No.
RNGGator?
Nope.
Okay, perfect. Well, my favorite part's coming next, and that is movies. Be right back. Okay, now we're talking about my love and my hobby is...
I say we just cut music.
We'll see. I may make it for the patrons. Movies. In fact, Native Raider did it with me last year, and we had to cut it as well. It was running too long. But movies. Using my AMC Stubs A-list membership, I saw 40.
That's what I did.
I saw 48 movies in the theater in 2024. That's an average of one movie a week. So a little fun math with Gator here. I paid approximately $264 for the year, or about $5.50 a movie. The retail price, if I purchased separately, would be about $576, and that's not including the online booking fees, which are waived if you're part of the membership. Yep. Seats are reserved these days, so you usually have to reserve your seats in advance. So add $96 in convenience fees for all those movies I saw. So overall, I saved $408 per person using my AMC Stubs A-list. So between my wife and I's membership, we paid $528 for our hobby, which would have been a total cost of $1,344 for the both of us. Full retail, saving a grand total of $816. Now, that doesn't include drinks and snacks, and I'm pretty cheap on that stuff. I usually get a drink or a candy bar and a drink. But all that being said, these are my top 5 movies in the theater for 2024. And Kingsley, I think you're going to like my number 5 because we like this movie so well that we talked about it the next week once you saw it. And that was, in my opinion, it's the best work of Hugh Grant to date. Such a smart movie about the tricky topic of belief and religion. The best thriller I've watched in years. I can still replay the scene in my head where Grant explains the theory about faith in the middle part of the house. It's so good. Like I said, that you and I really got into some deep conversations on the ending of it. Yeah. So that is my number 5, Heretic with Hugh Grant. Great movie. Super great movie. So was that one of your list?
It is. It's higher, but I won't say where yet.
Okay. Gotcha.
It didn't make it was an honorable mention for me. It was okay. I didn't think it didn't blow me away. My wife and daughter despised the ending of it. They're like, the ending's stupid. I'm like, yeah, I don't agree with you on that. I liked it. So I liked the movie. I just didn't make my top 5. So
all right, Kingsley, what are you picking for your number 5 movie?
Number 5 for me. Oh man, now it's mixed up with the honorable mention. I don't know which one to put as 5.
That's all right.
Which one is honorable mention. All the other ones I'm pretty sure about, but I'll just go with this for now because I like fun movies too from time to time. So I'll put number 5 as The Fall Guy.
I got it drawn up because I watched this movie as well. So yeah, good pick.
It has 82% review, 85% user review. So solid all around.
Yeah.
Obviously nothing like earth shattering about it, but one thing interesting about The Fall Guy is I have some loose relations to this movie. My my first wife's dad was Glenn Larson, who created the original Fall Guy. He also created Battlestar Galactica,
really,
Knight Rider, Buck Rogers, a lot of these shows that you've heard of.
I watched all those as a kid.
Yep. And so I knew a little bit about the Fall Guy a bit, but and I love Emily Blunt. And when it was coming out to be a movie, I'm like, I got to see this movie. And in a way, I'm past that world because I'm not married into that family anymore.
Right.
But I still really enjoyed the movie just for it being a fun movie, and thought they did a pretty good job with it. Not the most amazing movie, but I don't know. I'll tell you my honorable mention later, but and it could have been number 5 also, but for whatever reason, I decided to make this number 5.
That's a solid pick, man. I remember you liked it more than I did, and but now that I watched it again, I thought it was very good. That's a good pick, man. That's a solid number 5 to me. Yep.
Yeah, it's a good movie. It was a good movie. Yeah. It's a good just shut your brain off watch movie. I like it.
It was very funny too. It was very charming. Yeah. Okay, Gator, your number 5 movie.
So my number 5, kind of like Kingsley, I have 2 I could put at number 5, but I chose the new Godzilla and Kong, the New Empire movie. I went through, like I said, I did like you did. I went through my AMC stubs, and you can see all the movies you watch for 2024 in the theaters, and I just wrote them all down, then started ranking them. So, like I said, Godzilla and Kong, the New Empire, I liked it. It was very good. I liked them 2 teams. The little monkey and all that stuff. It was very good. It was one of the first movies I saw in 2024 was that movie. So
looks good. I haven't seen this one.
It was pretty good. So
okay, all right. Well, that leads me to my number 4 movie, and this movie I actually saw this fall. No pun for Fall Guy, but my wife and I love this so much that my wife actually is reading the novel about this movie. And I'm not only that, but I'm a huge fan of this series on TV every Saturday night. And that is Saturday Night. It is the full story of how the first show almost never happened. And I got to tell you, the cast they used to represent all of the Dan Aykroyds and all the I mean, the whoever did the casting did such a great job that I almost thought it was a younger version of these characters. It was so good. And like I said, it's the hardcover book is over 600 pages. My wife looked at it and goes, I don't know if I can read this, but I really want to know more about this. It just, like I said, it's all in real time. It keeps going back. See how I look at the clock there? It keeps every minute of this movie. You're wondering, is this ever going to happen? This is never. And it comes down literally to an executive of NBC that decides to do it or not. And, I won't spoil anything, but you probably know by now that, it did succeed because we watch Saturday Night Live right now. So that is my number 4. Such a great movie, funny, and solid pick, solid movie. All right, what do you got, Kingsley, for your number 3?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, number 4.
Number 4, yeah. Number 4 is Dune Part 2. Really good
Okay.
movie. I mean, I would have loved to have it higher too, but all these other movies I still really like too. So Dune Part 2, 92% critic review, 95% user review. Great follow-up to the first Dune movie. I had a really special occasion too, seeing it on a private screening a few days before it came out, and VIP
Nice.
seats and everything. And I would have loved the movie even if we didn't have that situation. But it was oh, it doesn't want you to stream it. Anyways, we know Dune Part 2, even if you're not seeing the trailer.
I'm
But
seeing it. It's not playing.
No, your stream just got
it says stream
suspended for
unavailable for
policy
policy
violations.
violations.
What? Seriously?
Probably YouTube blocked you.
Yep, you've been
Oh.
too many trailers.
What?
Oh man.
No way.
Hopefully they can still hear us.
Oh my gosh. Seriously? You guys cannot. This is a
Can they?
first.
Can you?
I went away from it. Yeah. Temporarily blocked because we detected your video belonging to somebody else. Plan to continue to ensure. Please ensure that the. Okay. It's just a trailer. I didn't play any audio. So
Well,
it's really weird.
YouTube must have. They can't hear us either, so you may want to restart the stream.
Okay. Hold on. I'll do that.
I'll wait.
Boy, that sucks. So I won't be able to play any trailers.
Don't play any more trailers. I think you played too many and they got you for
I
it.
guess I hit. Well, maybe that was one on their list. So, screenshot in Discord. Okay. All right. Well, I'll
This wouldn't have happened in Discord.
all right. Hold on. I'll restart the stream. What a pain in the butt. Give me 1 sec. I'm going to end the stream. End stream.
That does suck though.
I mean, there was no audio.